During the annual meeting, we'd really like to take some time to focus on, some of the products that we've worked on, as well as some of our accomplishments here at AMATS. As Jason mentioned, it's been a record turnout. We're really very happy that all of you could make it this year. Before I get started, I would like to thank our staff. Without them, this conference would be a much more pedestrian affair, especially if Jason or I were the ones just planning it. So really appreciate all the work that people have put in to make this day great. As Jason mentioned, the annual meeting focuses on the theme of place. AMATS and our members have been very busy in 2014. We've awarded funding for new projects, started another construction season, worked on a number of initiatives aimed at making our region a better place to live, work, and play. We believe all of our actions are grounded in improving our region and creating a sense of place and community. In January, AMATS approved over $28 million worth of funding towards transportation infrastructure in the region. Of those funds, $17 million were for road projects, $3.9 million for bike and pedestrian infrastructure, and $6.9 million for resurfacing. AMATS continues to prioritize projects that focus on preservation and projects which include multimodal components. Projects big and small can have a very large impact on our community. And two examples of that: one, we have the Akron Interbelt, which AMATS funded this year. It can help reimagine a void in your downtown, while at the same time we have sidewalks that are needed in Prospect Street in Ravenna Township, which will keep people from just walking through the mud to get to work. Also, I think from the first time, we've also attacked State Route 303 in Streetsboro, which has had a chronic flooding issue for a very long time, and I think it didn't exactly fit the AMATS protocol for what usually is funded, but I think our members and our staff saw that this was something that really was not acceptable in our day and age to have a road closed as frequently. So I think there are a lot of things we've done with approving new funding that we're pleased about. Also, just to mention too, while we've been doing this, also the county engineer has been working on an access management plan. DLZ has provided that. It's out in the front. I would encourage everyone to take a look at that. Maybe think of it looking at Canton Road in Springfield Township, which is also due for a major rehaul. And we're very excited to fund these projects and to get these things moving. Another first for AMATS, we released our first pedestrian crash report in 2014, after in 2013 we had done our first bike crash report. The report found that between 2010 and 2012 there were over 459 crashes that involved pedestrians. Many crashes happened at driveways or intersection crossings, and children 16 and under made up about 25% of these crashes. The report also showed that October was the highest month for crashes. So if you are going on the Cuyahoga Falls walk later, please use extreme caution. Also this year, construction season in the spring and now in the fall got underway. Wanted to highlight a few projects that have broken ground or are currently under construction. This year, AMATS invested about $20 million in projects on the ground. Some of the large projects that got underway are Graham Road in Cuyahoga Falls and Stowe, the Akron-Cleveland Bridge in Boston Heights, as well as another extension to the Talmadge Trail. And then also the Goodyear redevelopment at Inglewood Avenue is the second to last of our Goodyear redevelopment projects, with the last one breaking ground, I believe, in 2015. So while it's been a few years since we approved to focus funding on the Goodyear redevelopment, we are almost there, and so I think that that's something to celebrate. Also, new sidewalks in Ravenna on Chestnut Street, the picture on the far right. I think, from there what we're looking at is people were walking literally down the street in the dark, and now we have given them a safe place to walk near the hospital in Ravenna. So again, I think all these projects, large and small, really do make a difference in our communities, and I applaud our members because you're really the ones that are getting this done. This summer, we had our first Switching Gears conference, courtesy of funding through the Knight Foundation. We were able to bring in the former mayor of Madison, Wisconsin, Dave Cheslovic, and Jason Roberts from the Better Block. The event was a major success. It included bike rides through downtown Akron, and both Cheslovic and Jason Roberts spoke about ways to improve bike infrastructure in our communities, and I believe inspired many of our members to consider improvements in their own communities. Our Connecting Communities Planning Grant is now in its third round of grants. This year, the two grants were received, one from Barberton and one for Montrose area with Bath and Copley. Happy to say the Barberton one is looking at, they have the resource of the towpath trail cutting right near their downtown. We're looking at how we can make that connection better. As you can see from some of the artistic renderings, connecting to Lake Anna downtown. In Montrose, I think everyone knows that there are problems in Montrose. But what we're looking at is improving connectivity not just for automobiles, but for transit users, walkers, and bicyclists. I will say, too, to go back, I apologize, do want to credit City Architecture, which is working on the Barberton grant, and Environmental Design Group, which is working with us on the Montrose grant. So one of the key themes, I kind of skipped over it when we spoke about Jason Roberts being here, but when Jason came to speak at Switching Gears, he brought to us the idea of Better Block. For those of you that don't know, Better Block is a community development demonstration tool that rebuilds an area using grassroots efforts to show the potential to create a great, walkable, vibrant neighborhood center and to develop pop-up businesses to show potential of revitalized economic activity in an area. When Jason spoke, there was a lot of excitement in our area. Knight Foundation graciously was able to bring Jason Roberts back in late summer, and we scouted locations. I'm happy to say that this spring, AMATS, along with the City of Akron, Downtown Akron Partnership, and the Knight Foundation will be bringing Jason back to actually do Better Block in the North Hill neighborhood in Akron, Ohio. So we're very excited about that. I think some of the images that you see, it's basically reimagining a space, looking at vacant buildings, looking at streets that say are overcapacity now due to the way growth is slowed, and it's looking at ways for just temporarily to make changes to improve it for the community. This, I think, has a lot of transportation impacts, including things like road diets, bike lanes, sidewalks, crosswalks, things like that. And we are hoping from this learning experience that we will be able to share it with all of our other members and bring it to the rest of our communities once we kind of get through this pilot stage. I will also note that in the center here is a map of the old trolley car lines that came through Akron, Cuyahoga Falls, all the way up to Cleveland. I would mention, if no one knew, which we didn't know when we did the research, that Akron actually had a trolley line that was called the Mountain Line, and it actually zigged up through the valley, up the hill. I also learned through my research that trolleys were death traps, especially in the early 10s and 20s. So, but what they do provide is a great place where there's been a concentration of development, where we can utilize that space, and I think a lot of times you'll see those great pockets of old buildings. A lot of times that's where the trolley lines were. So, we've been kind of using some of our past to sort of look at the future and how we can develop it. And sometimes it would just be over a weekend with some duct tape. So with all that, I wanted to say that, really AMATS as an agency, we're focused on making our communities better. We feel both the largest projects and the smallest initiatives can have a major impact on our region. We will continue to work hard for our members to get into action and create tangible change. As an AMATS staff, we appreciate all the support from our members and our partners. And we will continue to work very hard in 2015 to achieve some of the vision that we've discussed earlier today. Thank you, and I hope you do enjoy the rest of our agenda.